let's talk about the developer's backyard. So if you don't know what this is a pretty big event in Guilty Gear because they don't do these so often anymore. So actually, when the game was coming out, they were basically pumping these out. They were like really talking very often about what was going on in the game. A bunch of these are from before the game comes out. And these basically update you with what's going on. One thing they do that's really annoying though, that I think is kind of whack, is they tell you about the character that came out like, okay, let's say this is like April. In this April, emphasis on April update, they talk about Dizzy, who came out in October, basically November 2024, and they talk about Venom, who came out in March 2025. It's kind of annoying that they do this. We know, dude. It's not like the character just dropped. We know. The last time they posted a developer's backyard was July 24th, 2 days before my birthday. It is December. They posted one yesterday on Christmas. So it's been a really long time. The main thing is that these developers' backyard, if this feels like a long time, it's not like they have not communicated with us between this and this, because we had a big patch in August. From that perspective, it was only 3 weeks apart, right? 3 weeks apart and then a month. They let us know that they do patch notes and they tell us what's going on. So while this communication does seem really far apart, it's not like they don't actually talk to... Truthfully, the last time we have had like serious communication is actually here. It's still a long time, by the way. Don't get it twisted. That being said, let's take a look at this. Make this nice and esports huge. So on December 18th, there is the Nintendo Switch edition that I forgot exists. So now the Switchers. So they do this. This character's been out for a while, but all right, man. And then Lucy from Cyberpunk Edge Runner. And they talk about some stuff of the concept. The main thing that I took from this was probably this, which they mentioned a bunch. What was it? Anime Expo interview of like, oh, there's not actually a lot of Lucy fighting. Lucy's not in the game, the video game Cyberpunk 2077. And in the anime, she doesn't fight a lot. There's a couple of scenes of her fighting, but there's not a lot. So they had to like come up with stuff. Some people took this as, oh my god, the character could have been cool, right? Because they're like, ah, she has like summon drones and machines to cause explosions, or like hacks to interact with projectiles, or like her just having a bunch of different moves. I actually had a small talk about how Unica and Lucy, the anime character, I guess they're both anime characters, the guest character and the original anime character, the two of them are seen as really easy, bland characters, but low-key they have to be easy because these are the characters that they're using to try to get people into the game. So they're like really easy and approachable. And this is why she is the way it is. This especially. How can we make the game enjoyable even for players experiencing it for the first time? This sentence, by the way, the thing you will hear the absolute most from fighting game devs. You will hear this nonstop. You basically, when you hear this, you should ignore it about 85% of the time. I think in the case for Lucy, it matters a bit more because it's not about, you know, there's a balance patch, but it's not about like an update or a brand new game or something like that. It's about the specific character. So from my perspective, the goal was that they really don't like sentences that people would say like, why play Testament when you can play Ram? Why play Millia when you can play Chip? Why play Zato when you can play HC? They don't like that. They want each character to have their own individual draw. From a competitive player's perspective, Chip was a relatively simple character in this game up until Season 4. Once Season 4 came out, he got a new move that really drastically changed how he played, and you didn't have to use it. They would like it if you use it. It changes his matchups a lot, it changes his pressure a lot, combos, it changes everything a lot. Every character just kind of has like a sweaty thing you can do. So this question of how do we make the game enjoyable for players experiencing this for the first time, especially because the draw is this character, is a real question. Normally when a new fighting game is coming out and they're like, yeah, one of our goals is to make sure the game is approachable for new players but deep for experienced veterans. Duh. Like, okay, they all say this. They've been saying it over and over and over and over again. Some of these are great reaction images, and while they're really sick, the thing we really care about, Guilty Gear Strive 2.0. Our goal is not simply to adjust characters and or add new content, which would be easy for them to do, but to prepare updates that offer a refreshed overall experience, one that feels engaging, almost like picking up a new game. So if this is your first fighting game, YouTube stream, Twitch stream, is this your first fighting game? No, yes, no, YNN. All right, so it's a mix of yeses and nos. In the past, they would do like Guilty Gear XX, Guilty Gear XX, Sharp Reload, Guilty Gear XX, Slash, Guilty Gear XX, Accent Core, Guilty Gear XX, Accent Core, plus R, right? For some reason, they really like the letter R in Guilty Gear and adding R to stuff. In Exert though, Guilty Gear Exert Sign and Guilty Gear Exert Revelator. Guilty Gear Exert Sign has a bunch of, there's Sign 1.1. That was like the main thing. And then they go to Revelator. And then there was a small Revelator patch. And then Rev 2. And then that has a patch also. And now for like Dragon Ball people, there's Dragon Ball Season 1. Dragon Ball Season 2, Dragon Ball Season 3, Dragon Ball Season 3.5, Dragon Ball Lab Coat, Street Fighter 5. Well, no, Street Fighter 5 had title updates. Street Fighter 6, Season 1, Season 2, Season 3. Usually with the title update, there's a big balance patch, but also usually like new mechanics. People have been saying that this 2.0 would be this type of update, like the Revelator for Strive. And it sounds like they want to do that. We see version 2.0 as a milestone, an opportunity to review and refine what we have built so far and to take the next step forward for Guilty Gear Strive. They're only adding one character as far as the next update, but that's not the only character they're adding. So they want to add more characters, and we also plan to continue adding characters in those updates beyond 2.0. Guilty Gear Strive is already the biggest Guilty Gear game, character-wise. The game started with 15, which made people sad, but also I believe Exert was 15 or 14, I forget, on launch. But there was 3 characters that came out really quick: Elfelt, Sin, and I think it was Leo, Sin, Elfelt. Strive 1.0 is ending at 32, the info anime game, and now they're adding a 33rd character, and they might get to 40 or close to 40. Whenever this patch is, which I'll share when I think the patch is coming, I say patch update is coming, we get 1 character with this update. As updates have accumulated over time, we recognize that, particularly through universal mechanics, the overall level of character performance is gradually increased. So before I even talk about the second sentence, I want to talk about the first one. The big thing about Season 1, I think I have a very unique take on this sentence specifically. You hear a lot from competitive players that there's been power creep, like the power level of the game has been going up and up and up and up. So I'm going to give you a slight perspective that you may not have heard unless you've watched me for a long time. So in Season 1, I believe they had 2 choices. Strive Season 1 is 2 games. There's the game we remember with Leo, Broken Soul, Nago winning Evo NA online, those characters. And then there's the characters living underground in a tunnel, starving. Anji, Milia, Faust, the characters that are bad. On launch. There's really 2 tiers of power level. And when they're updating the game, they have 2 paths. It's alright if the characters have those flaws. It's alright if they have these flaws. But that means they have to bring the top way down. You're lessening the fun for people who play like Ram and Leo and Nago and shit. Or they could try to bring the other characters up. Clearly, we know what they tried to do. They tried to bring the other characters up. Another thing that happened in Season 1 is that a lot of people said, and this was kind of true as the game developed, people said there wasn't like a lot of options to use in Season 1. So they kind of gradually added options to Season 1. A lot of the stuff they did, for example, the dash card cancel change, I believe is from Season 1. Also, the kick counter hit change is also from Season 1, if I recall correctly. When Season 2 came out, they did a bunch of stuff. They kind of raised the power level of everybody, especially characters that people considered weak. Whether or not they actually were is not really the thing, but it was the comparison to the best characters. There's a lot of like, we don't even want to try these characters if I could just play Leo or Nago. Now in 2, to me, the focus was on more options. So what did they do? Outside of all the big changes they gave to characters, that's the patch where you got the fast RC change. So the Fast RC refund was, sorry, not the Fast RC refund. There's more Fast RC refund and the Fast RC slowdown. That's what it was. The Fast RC slowdown got added. Season 3 was the addition of new universal mechanics. That was the big one. And the Wild Assault really changed the game because it added options, yes, but to an extreme. And a lot of people were like, damn, we gotta really dial this back. So after like, I think 3 months, they updated the game. They nerfed Wild Assault for the first time. Really, Wild Assault was crazy. If they left that shit rock the normal amount of time, which was like 6 months, because basically the sequencing around Wild Assault on launch was just so insane. It just wasn't around long enough for the average player to learn it. Lots of just like absolutely locking you out, super snowballing. You saw it in tournaments for sure, but like the only nice thing was that not absolutely everybody was doing it. That's not even talking about like Wild Assault and stuff. And then in Season 4, they tweaked Wild Assault in Season 4, but the big focus on Season 4 was the character individuality. So Season 4 at the beginning especially, which also needed to patch pretty early, but because it kind of felt like rush a little bit. The character level was pretty high, but I definitely felt like the mission of you each character does a really specific thing, you could tell, was definitely there. Right now, most people are pretty happy with the balance overall because they lowered the power level. But the main way they lowered the power level, outside of some character nerfs, was weakening Wild Assault again. In the end, a lot of like this shit is crazy was what they did to the characters plus Wild Assault. Like as someone who has mostly played weaker characters in this game, when people say they want the power level down, I usually feel like if I don't hear them say like a character bring the power level down to around this character, I feel like they don't know what they're asking for. One thing you really don't want people to say is that your game is boring. Some people might like it, like I might like it. Like for example, I like Multi-Blood Acadenza. Many people think that's a boring ass game. Where the current version, the power level is pretty fucking high compared to Acadenza. Both are good games, but most people don't want to play a game they feel like is boring. So I don't actually know how you do this. I'm always curious to how they want to do this thing. As the game is right now, if we were playing the previous patch, I would talk a lot about like, yeah, you need to weaken system mechanics. You need to weaken like Red Wild Assault. For the classic example is like a Sin Ram. So like Sin Ram, they both have like a restriction around what they do. So Sin they made his hunger meter, I guess. It takes a while for him to regain stamina. It takes a while for him to regain stamina. It's like 13 seconds. And then Ram also, she has a really long restriction around the swords. They made it so you can't pick up swords anymore. But they both have Red Wild Assault. So from the jump, the restriction technically doesn't matter because they can recycle around that restriction using their burst, which they have right away, and they're good at doing it. Ram was better. The restriction felt like it wasn't a restriction. You hear this a lot from people who talk more specifically about what feels overwhelming about the game. One thing I said is like, damn, I play a character who has this situation as Kabaddi, where she's slightly plush, she has these options, you have these options. She has a slight minus situation, Tatami, H Kabaddi, I have these options, you have these options. Like, how do you lose to Baiken is a very defined situation that it can definitely happen to you, because one way is like you get thrown, you get hit by Baiken spending meter, because when she spends meter, she gets to do Yozansen. Yozansen is very scary, has a lot of damage. But there are other characters where I'm like, damn, dude, honestly, I think I lost because I blocked one time. Honestly, I think I lost because I got in a bad situation. I got hit, I bursted. They were able to get right back on me and then recycle resources over and over until I lose. That's what I would say for last patch. For this patch, I don't really feel that way. So I don't know what they could do. When people read this, they're all like, HC, you know, which I mean, yeah, me too. But I don't know really about, because the current version, I think the power level is mostly fine. The main things we would talk about would be like pot, HC, gaining meter on hit, burst stuff, but even then, these are like character balances stuff. Outside of a couple of characters, the obvious one is Guard Crush. Just reading this makes me hopeful about them doing something with that pot. The main thing they are talking about is Wild Assault. I would also be pretty happy if they nerfed Wild Assault. I have Blue Wild Assault. I've had Blue Wild Assault the whole time. A lot of people are calling it the best one. I feel like the main reason people call it the best one is because Happy Chaos has it and Pot has it. But you know, I'm not gonna cry about Baiken not having Blue Wild Assault anymore if it means that other characters that use it way better and get nerfed, right? It's just a shoehorned mechanic, because in red Wild Assault still solves like the shit I'd be saying about conversion ability. If there was no red Wild Assault, then there would truly be Ram doesn't convert everything, Kai converts way less, and when he does, it doesn't hit that much. Mei doesn't convert everything. If there's no red Wild Assault, I don't ask for a far slash combo for Baiken. You understand? The main reason I ask for a far slash combo for Baiken is because other characters who their problem was they couldn't combo, they combo now. Yeah, imagine a Chip could only do Chip hit you and didn't have meter, and he does far slash Rekka 1 only, or far slash Rekka 1 Rekka 2, and he's just -3. If that was the main thing that most characters had, then Baiken's far slash is chill. Not only is it chill, it's broken. It's mad good in that context. You probably noticed I don't complain about jab as much. I don't complain about far slash as much as I used to at the beginning of the year. But yeah, I'm very curious of what they want to do, with it. And the number one thing is definitely about this. We are considering changes that go beyond standard tuning, including potential reworks. Every competitive player is just thinking about pot and HC. I'm still confused with what Wild Assault was meant to help with. Wild Assault, I think, was meant to do a couple of things. One is that it is a resource management at the beginning of the round. So supposedly more choices to make immediately. Two, it helps with character shit, right? Each one helps with character shit. Take Mei. Mei could not combo stuff. Before Mei, with no meter, Most of the time, you're doing button, dolphin. But now you get / red water salt. You get 2S red water salt. So you get your conversion, you get better conversion ability. Or for a blue water salt character, take Jacko, right? When you learn Jacko matchup, you go, damn, what do I do about all these minions? They're all over the place and it's hard. Then you go, oh, I hit the minion. Her strings aren't guaranteed minions. You can guess when she pulled a minion. If I guess right, I get a big return for hitting her out of like whatever she does after the minion. So Jacko, blue water salt. Now she has blue water salt, minion pull, and she's plus 10 guard crush. Bridget has the same thing. Bridget is what I'm about to do next, right? Bridget, blue water salt. Now she has, I believe it's like plus 7. It's like blue water salt, mine, plus 7. She could just do the shit. Bike end, tether, slow move. It's like 28 frames. Some characters can low profile it. Some characters 6p it. Some characters jump it. Bike end, blue water salt. You get it for free. Then the white water salt characters, they go, man, we've been watching Zato players do oppose backdash, clap, clap, and like watching HC players go bang, bang, bang. Or like Pot has flick and stuff, but like we can give them this other option too, where it's, it's invincible, and we'll lean into them being a big body and give them guard crush. It was intended to do that too. And then for red and blue, it's also additional options. It's like an extra Gatling. Testament has the biking problem. / 5H doesn't combo very often. So of course there's / red water salt. The combo problem solved there. That also means that on block, / 5H is not good too, because your 5H will whiff, Testament will be minus. What they would do before is they would do / fireball, but many characters could IAD, and you'd be like / arbiter, like you'd be a bunch of shit. So they had to do / H fireball. So if you dash block after the / and you do H fireball, you can hit them. Water salt helped fill in a gap of like, damn, this button sucks on block. Water salt is also a third jump cancel option, because you have 5k, you have close slash, and now you have water salt. And the other thing about water salt is you will notice that most characters 5ks are not that big, and then their other jump cancelable option is close slash, so they have to be close. So it actually does a ton of stuff. It kind of got ham-fisted to do kind of the same thing, because everyone was building game plans around locking you out of bursts and looping wall break over and over, which low-key slowed the game down, even though people are dying faster. Very weird. The goal, I did see the vision, even though I was like, this is not the way to do it. It does do a bunch of things all in one mechanic. So from that perspective, it's clever, but it's just way too good. And a lot of, one of the main competitive complaints about the game is that they take away weaknesses of characters, and water salt is a gigantic. They tried to make the mechanic work through a bunch of additional changes, so I'm glad they kind of stuck to their vision. But like that, the water salt is probably the single biggest change that affected the game the most, more than Fast RC. Even though they nerfed more than positive changes, more than Fast RC. To be honest, all I want to see is annoying characters nerfed, frankly. So it's their game, not my game. I'm not making the game. They can do what they want. Definitely, if you want a small flame about previous games and how they talk about this game. Okay, what I'm saying is I don't specifically want them to make it like Exerd. I want them to make the game that they want to make. I don't really have like specific, like, make this like this, make this like Blaze Blue, make this like Persona, make this like Exerd. I don't really have that. I'm just like, do your thing, and we'll see how that affects the game. If I think it's a good change, I'm gonna say it's a good change. Now they're planning to add new moves for these characters: Soul, Kai, Nago, and Leo. Is that everybody? I thought there was. Oh yeah, because Zato's. Okay, these are the only characters that have not gotten new moves. Playing Nago, I'm sure people are begging for stuff because the number one thing I hear about Nago is they don't like the H button change. And right now, Nago has one weakness that's hard to play around for the Nago player. So Nago is really weak to jump right now because they made his 6P is a little hard to use. His jab is good and not good at the same time. His close dash is great, but it's proximity. He has 2H also, but he can't cancel it. So jumping is really good against him. Jumping is really, really good against him. The sweaty answer, there's a sweaty Nago answer, which is you use a Fukyo DP. You use Fukyo DP or you just straight up Fukyo on the people. These cost blood. I feel like whatever they give to Nago will be around that problem. Leo, I have no idea what you give Leo at all, truthfully. The thing you would think for this character is a way to go from front turn to back turn, but they buffed Turbulence so it has a spacing trap, so I don't think they're going to do that. And then the other thing is he's weak against kicks and disjoints, but not only does he have the guard point already, but he has counterplay against all those, so I really don't know what they would do. I think the easy way they give him a new move is to just give him a new move in back turn because they just want you to be in back turn more. But truthfully, I don't know that. Kai is like Leo. I don't really know what they would give him. But Kai is also, I don't know what they could do because he's pretty well rounded. There's two ways. There's a boring way. They give him a new move, and the boring things they just give him air CSC or something. The more interesting thing would be a new way for him to get access to shock state and stuff. And so also, I don't really know. His main thing is he needs a crumb of help in neutral, but he already has a bunch of good neutral stuff, but like neutral feels hard when he plays him. For example, he has like 2D, he has Bandit Bringer. He used to be more mobile, you know, like he had his Bandit Revolver used to go further. I don't want to say he has pressure problems, really. His pressure is good. So I feel like for him and Nago, it's kind of clear what they could do. Where with Kai and Leo, it's less clear what they could do. But apparently they already know what the moves are. So apparently they gave the characters have moves. So whatever it is, they got. The rest of it is like, okay, fishing stuff, sure. All these are like, sure. Addressing bad manners, I think, is about rank. When such behavior is confirmed, the operation team applies responses such as network restrictions or rank exclusions. In addition, we are developing systems that allow for faster detection and more appropriate handling of these cases. Some of the topics here may not be ready in time for the initial release of 2.0. For those elements, we are considering implementation of future updates beyond 2.0 while carefully reviewing priorities and development timelines. And the topics introduced here are only a portion for what we are preparing. So there's still more. To talk about addressing bad manners quickly, I like, that's very Japanese, addressing bad manners, right? But I got rage quit on quite a bit today. Quite. Not today. Today, actually, I did not get rage quit on at all. But day one, I got rage quit on quite a bit. One was the person who would not actually load up the match with me. And the other person, there was like a Bridget who DC'd on me, a couple Lucy's who DC'd on me. Right now, the only time I saw something was at the beginning of this recent patch, the December update, like bug fix update. Oh, sorry, the rank reset update, my bad. Where some people got banned from rank and stuff. It would be cool for sure for people to have penalties for rage quitting. I think I read something that there's so there's like a bike and character Discord, and there was a person in there who was talking about how he always rage quits against Seylor. So that type of stuff, that's good for the game, obviously. You know, make ranked like more legit and stuff. I don't really have any thoughts about the Switch version besides I can lab at the airport. My thought is that we can expect Strive 2.0 but after finals. I think we get a date after finals. I think we will be playing this version for Frosty, and we'll be playing this version at AWT finals, and they will announce the date at AWT finals. Actually, there's three ways they could do this. There's the best way is at AWT finals, which is in March. They're like, oh, it's out now. Method number two is finals. They're like, this is the date, and it's before Evo Japan. The worst thing they could do is at finals. Well, okay, the second worst thing. It's not the worst thing. The second worst thing they could do, they have the thing for Strife 2, and then they go, we will announce the date after Evo Japan. That would be painful. And then the worst thing they could do is we'll let you know soon. Evo Japan's in May, so ideally it comes out after finals. The updates are out now. They've done it before. I'm not saying it's what they're gonna do. I'm just saying they've done it before. They've done it before. They did that in Rev, for example. Or they did that with Bridget drop. Ideally, they update the game before Evo Japan. Not saying that's what it's gonna be. That's probably what they would like. They can't really drag their feet too much on it. So having it come out after finals would be pretty good because it'll be spaced. So everyone whatever people feel about 2X and all the new hype around 2X will be done by like March, April or so. So I don't know. I think it's a good time. They could take longer and get away with it, but they can't drag their feet too much, you know. If it's almost multiple years. Yeah, and again, my thing is like here on the update speed right now, I'm really leaning in towards what people are saying because I'm pretty satisfied with my experience with the game right now. I find the game to be really interesting and fun right now, but it's because of the character I play. She didn't get nerfed, truthfully. You know, the Yozan nerf is annoying, but it's not like they could have done way worse than fucking just randomly shoot Yozan for no reason, right? And she's interesting to play. And there's a lot of stuff you can do. It's cool.